Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description.
A girl in her 30s, wearing a green dress and red hair, was giving birth. It was Kushina Uzumaki. Next to her stood a blond man of about 30, wearing a Jonin uniform without a vest. This was the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, or Konoha's Yellow Lightning. 5 hours after the girl's labor began, she gave birth to a blond boy with blue eyes and 6 whiskers on his face. 8 hours later, she gave birth to a boy. This boy looked nothing like his parents or even human. His hair was the color of snow, standing up like a spiky bush. His skin was also white, and his eyes were pitch black. But what surprised everyone was the mark of a hooded skeleton with a scythe on his left arm. The boy also had a tattoo on his back of a skeleton with a scythe, and the skeleton itself was wearing a cloak. He also had horns like the Shinigami of the god of death. Minato laid the children on the couch and closed the seal. They looked at the boy in shock, wondering where he was from. But then he began to disappear into a black portal. Minato was shocked. He felt like this boy was a son to Minato. His chakra was similar to Minato's. He knelt down and cried. The boy who disappeared was named Naruto, and the other was Minma. The boy himself appeared in the forest. He was in a bundle with Naruto's name on it. He looked calmly at the forest. Birds flew up to him. They began to chirp, and he laughed. At this moment in the subconscious. In the boy's subconscious, there was a temple and a forest. The forest was snowy, and the temple was white. 2 girls appeared in front of the temple. One was wearing a white kimono with a tomo. A black sash was wrapped around her waist. She had aristocratic features. Her skin was pale. Her eyes were large and beautiful, with purple pigmentation around them. Her hair was long and brown, with her bangs hanging to the left. Her eyes glowed with one of the 3 most powerful dojutsu in the world, a Sharingan with 3 tomo. She had C-cup breasts and was 25 years old. This was the founder of the Uchiha clan, Indra Otsutsuki. The second was dressed similarly, but had a buzz cut. There was no pigmentation around her eyes. Her hair was braided on the sides of her ears. This was the founder of the Shinja clan, Ashura Otsutsuki. They are the daughters of the sage of the 6 paths himself. Indra? Ashura asked. So our reincarnation is one person, and not the correct one, as I see it, said Indra. I need to see who he is, Ashura said. They saw a boy who was a copy of Rakuto, only all white. So he's a purebred Otsutsuki, but why is he in the human world and our reincarnation? Ashura asked. Look, someone's picking him up. Stop! It's him! Indra screamed. Stop! It's death itself, Ashura said. Meanwhile in the world. Well, hello, my guardian, said Death, or the skeleton in the cloak and scythe. She picked him up and went into the house. For years had passed. The boy was a genius. At 2, he could already run, walk, and talk. At 3, he could read and write. Girls were shocked by Naruto and began to fall in love with him, fighting over him. Death herself was pleased. The boy was unusually calm, and animals always swarmed around him, especially his friend, a raven named Era. Death taught Naruto theory. Naruto wore a tomo-embossed sweatshirt with a high collar. Underneath, he wore a tomo-embossed t-shirt. His pants were white, as were his sandals. His hair was styled like Uchiha Madara's. He couldn't cut it or change it. It was just like Madara's. But now Naruto was running through the forest and came to Era's nest. But when he looked in, he saw that the nest was destroyed and Era was lying dead, being eaten by some cat. Naruto's eyes were filled with shock, but rage and a Sharingan with 3 tomo could be seen in them. An aura of death enveloped everything for 20 meters. Frost began to form. Naruto himself picked up a stick, which immediately sharpened. The girls felt Naruto was losing control. He pounced on the cat and began to kill it. Death watched, taking pity on the boy, and knocked him out and revived Era, binding him to Naruto. Naruto woke up 4 hours later. "Anti-Death, what happened to me?" Naruto asked. "Aru was killed before your eyes, and you used my power and killed the cat, and I felt sorry for you and I resurrected Aru. Now he is blood related to you," Death said. "Thank you, Aunt Death," Naruto said and hugged Death. "We need to start your training," Death said. "Okay, but what abilities do I get from you?" Naruto asked. "You will soon have a cloak and a scythe like mine. You can also control and communicate with animals. You can even kill creatures with a single touch, if you so choose. You can also sense souls and emotions, which is better than sensory perception," Death explained. "Okay, when do we start?" Naruto asked. "We will practice tomorrow, but now start awakening the chakra," said Death. "Okay, but how?" Naruto asked logically. "You need to sit in the lotus position and think about the fire in the stomach area," said Death. "Okay," said the guy. He sat in the lotus position and began to awaken. 5 hours later, he awakened her. When he opened his eyes, he appeared in a snowy forest. But now he saw a temple. He went into it. Upon entering, he saw a table and a bed. Indra and Ashura were sitting at the table. They smiled at the boy. "Who are you? And where am I?" Naruto asked. "I am Indra Otsutsuki," said Indra. "And I am Ashura Otsutsuki. You are our reincarnation," said Ashura. I see. But can a girl's reincarnation be a guy?" Naruto asked. "No, you are not the correct reincarnation, just like Uchiha Madara and Hashirama Senju," Indra said. "Okay, well, I think we'll be friends," Naruto said and smiled. "Of course. What else can we do?" Ashura said. "Okay, but I have to go," Naruto said, and was about to leave when he realized he didn't know where the exit was. Where's the exit?" Naruto asked, smiling stupidly and scratching the back of his head. The girls laughed at this. "Think about what you want to do when you leave here and everything is the same, and back again," said Indra. At this the guy smiled and disappeared. He appeared in bed. "Naruto, plans change," said Death. "What do you mean?" Naruto asked. "You've awakened the hearth, but I see your future. An old man must take you in. He'll be like a grandfather to you, but for that, I'll have to leave. Don't worry, I've sealed my scythe and my cloak into the mark on your hand. To activate the mark, simply feed it chakra. When you reach that village, unseal my gifts, and I'll come to your subconscious," Death said. This gave Naruto a Sharingan that began spinning. It formed a diamond shape with crosses around it. It later transformed into a Rinnegan with 12 Tomo. Naruto was able to deactivate it, however. "My boy, you have awakened the Mangyoko and even the Rinnegan. Your great-grandfather is Madara Uchiha. That is why you look like him," said Death and disappeared. She appeared in the subconscious. "Who are you? And what are you doing in my successor's subconscious?" Death asked sternly. "Don't scold, Death-sama. The boy is our reincarnation, and that's why we are here," Ashura said. "Okay, but then you'll have to teach the boy too," Death said. "Okay, and yes, I improved his eyes, and now he won't go blind," said Indra. "We'll keep an eye on Naruto," Ashura said, and a third chair appeared at the table. Death sat there and began watching Naruto. Naruto's gift for speaking to animals had awakened, and now they all obeyed him. He was sitting on a waterfall, watching the sunset, when someone placed a hand on his shoulder. Turning, Naruto saw an old man. He was wearing a black and white kimono. His hair was black, as were his eyes, and he had a scar under his lip on his chin. "Boy, what are you doing here?" Danzo asked. "I'm sitting here, my only friend left, because he was ordered to, and he was an animal from the summoning, so I'm thinking what to do. He taught me to control chakra and read, speak and write," Naruto said with feigned sadness. "Wouldn't you like to live with me?" Danzo asked, but something inside him told him to take the boy into your home and raise him as a grandson. I don't mind, Naruto said, and a crow landed on his shoulder. This is my other best friend, Era. He can't talk, Naruto said, petting the crow. Okay, I was just coming back from a mission. Let's go to Konoha, the old man said, and smiled warmly. They set off for Konoha. Naruto remained calm even when his guardian arrived. They walked for a couple of days, as Naruto couldn't run through trees, but he had plenty of stamina. Upon arrival, they were met by 2 guards. Hello, Danzo-sama. Who is this with you? The guard asked. I found this boy alone in the forest and decided to take him under my wing, said Danzo. Okay, come in. Enjoy your viewing, boy, said the guard. And our heroes went to the Hokage's office. Upon arrival, they met Minato. Hello, Minato. I would like to complete the mission and also take 1 boy into custody, Danzo said. Hello, Danzo-sama. Okay, and where is this boy? Asked Minato. Then a calm Naruto emerged from behind Danzo. He looked at the Hokage. Okay, how old are you and what's your name, boy? Minato asked. Naruto hid his tattoos. Well, my name is Naruto, and I'm also 4 years old, Naruto said, counting on his fingers to show that he was still a child, although Danzo chuckled at this. Naruto, then okay, now you're Naruto Shimura, okay? Minato asked. Okay, Naruto said. That's good, we're going home, Danzo said, and started walking towards the exit. Naruto trailed after him. An hour later, they arrived at the house. It was 2 stories tall. Danzo didn't live here, but he would have to live here with Naruto. What would happen if a 4-year-old boy lived with A and B assassins? Naruto-kun, choose any room on the 2nd floor, Danzo said. Okay, Danzo-sama, Naruto said. Just call me Grandpa Danzo. By the way, my old friend and his wife are coming to visit us today, Danzo warned. Okay, Grandpa Danzo, said Naruto. He chose a room after 5 minutes. He chose a room that was both light and dark. There was a bed and a table there. Naruto went downstairs. Grandfather Danzo, I have chosen, Naruto warned. Okay, Naruto-kun, my friends, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage, and his wife, Baiwaka Sarutobi, will arrive in an hour, Danzo said. Wait, if your friend is the Hokage, then who are you in the hierarchy, and Grandpa Danzo? Naruto asked. I am the village elder, and the head of the Root Umbu, Danzo said. What are A and BU? Naruto asked. These are people who are very strong. They carry out serious missions. They protect the village from the shadows, Danzo said. Okay, can I go to the training grounds to practice? Naruto asked. What will you train? Danzo asked. Well, improve your physical parameters and control over chakra, said Naruto. You need to buy clothes. Yours are very beautiful for training. Let's go to the store, said Danzo. Okay, Naruto said. And so they went to the store. They stayed there for about 30 minutes. Naruto was bought 1 set of clothes, as he didn't like any others. They bought him a black sweater. It wasn't thick, making it easier to train in. He also got A and BU pants and black shinobi sandals. Danzo didn't notice Naruto's tattoo. Later, they returned home. There, Naruto met Era, and Naruto's second gift, the ability to sense souls and emotions, awakened. Danzo had 2 emotions, joy and happiness. He really enjoyed being a grandfather. But now Naruto was working out, as Death had said that improving his control was useless for now. But then Danzo approached him. Naruto, we have guests, go change and come down. And I see you haven't been practicing your control? Danzo asked. No, I think it's too early yet, Naruto said. That's right. It's rare that children your age can control chakra at all. So don't play with chakra and practice physically. You can try in a week, said Danzo. He felt that Naruto had a large amount of chakra, and it was white. Naruto went to his room and put on his Otsutsuki clothes. He was told that Naruto was an Otsutsuki. Naruto went downstairs and saw the third Hokage and his wife. "Hello, Hiruzen-sama and Baiwaka-sama. I am Naruto Shimura," said Naruto and bowed in introduction. "Hello, Naruto-kun. Does this mean Danzo adopted you?" Hiruzen asked. "Yes, me," said Naruto. "Okay, come to the table. You should eat too." "Naruto is probably hungry," said Danzo. "Thanks, of course, but I don't want to. This is all from childhood," said Naruto. "What do you mean?" Danzo asked. "I'll tell you a secret. Since childhood, I can go without eating, drinking, and sleeping. I don't know why, but it helped me survive in the forest," Naruto said. "Well, sit down and eat. You'll feel a new taste," Danzo said in shock. "Okay, Grandpa Danzo," Naruto said and smiled. They sat down at the table. Naruto began learning table etiquette. Naruto learned quickly and didn't yell, knowing he had to be polite when he lived with the elder of a large village. The boy immediately memorized everything and began to behave properly at the table. Danzo and Hiruzen realized the boy was a genius. They ate and talked. They decided to send Naruto to the academy when he turned 7. "Danzo's girlfriend, can I borrow books from your library and read them?" Naruto asked. "Of course, take books only from the compartments for Jonin, Chunin, and Jinin. Do not touch the ones further. There is classified information there," said Danzo. "Okay, and thank you," said Naruto. "If you want, you can go read," said Danzo. Naruto thanked them for the food and went to the library. There, he checked out books on the history of Konoha, the entire shinobi world, and other books covered at the academy. He managed to get every book covered at the academy. Danzo was stunned when he saw the books and the sheer number of them. He sat with his guests and chatted, while Naruto engrossed himself in reading history. He read until morning, and Danzo thought he was sleeping, but he was. Because his heart had awakened, he used his Sharingan to read and see in the dark. But Danzo came to see him in the morning. "Get up, Naruto. Let's go do some physical training and maybe even practice control. And if you do everything today, we'll look at the elements," said Danzo. "Okay, Grandpa. By the way, I'd like to return the books to the library," Naruto said, taking the tower of books. "And you read all this?" Danzo asked in shock. "Yes, I read all night, and now I'm still cheerful," said Naruto. "Okay, so you already know all the academy theory?" Danzo asked. "Yes, all that's left is to perfect my iron throwing and learn the basic techniques." "But what's the point of illusory clones?" Naruto asked. "I don't see it either, so I'll teach you shadow clones. They're more useful, they pass on experience to you, but also fatigue. But because you don't need human needs, you're not afraid of fatigue or chakra exhaustion. I feel like you have a lot of chakra," Danzo said. "Okay, let's go to training," said Naruto in his training uniform. They went to the training ground. "Grandpa Danzo, who invented the shadow clone technique?" Naruto asked. "My teacher, second Hokage Tobirama Senju," Danzo replied. "Okay," Naruto said. "So now there are 50 laps around the training ground and 25 exercises each. Off we go," Danzo said. "Hi," Naruto replied and ran. He did everything in an hour. "Well done, now we can work on chakra," said Danzo. "Okay, what should I do?" Naruto asked. "You need to climb to the top of the tree without using your hands. You need to pump chakra into your legs. Find the middle ground. Too much and you'll break the tree. Too little and you'll fall, understand?" Danzo asked. "Yes," the guy answered. And he started trying. Only after 4 hours did he succeed. "Well done, I'm surprised. You should train like this for several days, because a lot of chakra means less control," Naruto said. "Okay, we need to get to the water, but I'll tell you one secret, and I won't tell anyone," said Naruto, and Danzo nodded and created a soundproofing barrier and an illusory. Death has given him permission, and there will be no questions for him. "I didn't live alone in the forest. I am the heir of death. I also have 2 of the 4 gifts. This is control of animals and feeling the soul of a person and his emotions. But there are 2 more. This is seeing when this creature will die and killing with one touch whenever you want, said Naruto. Danzo was shocked. But he looked at Naruto as usual. But because of this, I looked like a Shinigami. Shinigami is Death's grandson, and the Otsutsuki are half-gods, and I became a pure-blooded god. But since birth, I'd had the seal of death and the death tattoo, Naruto said and showed everything. I see, I'm surprised, Danzo said. Well, I'm also Madara's great-grandson, and I awakened the Sharingan with 3 Tomo, Naruto said. Well, you're a copy of Madara, and it will be easier with the Sharingan. I have a girl in the ANBU who can teach it to you, Danzo said. No need, it's too much noise, and secondly, I'm the reincarnation of the daughters of the Sage of the 6 Paths, and now the founders of the Uchiha and Senju clans, as well as death itself, are sitting in my subconscious, Naruto said. Okay, I think it's better to put on this seal, Danzo said, and handed the guy a piece of paper with a seal. What kind of seal is this? The guy asked. This is protection for your brain. If you put it on, no one will be able to get into your head, said Danzo. Naruto put it on, and nothing happened to him, but a protective barrier appeared in his subconscious. And so the training continued. Time skipped 3 years. During this time, he became as strong as Death, having learned from her 2 gifts and the Death Senjutsu. Flashback. Naruto, let's find out your elements now, said Danzo, handing over 5 pieces of paper. Okay, said the guy and performed chakra. 1 leaf is covered with a crust. 2 turned into biomass. 3, the infinity sign appeared. What does this mean? Naruto asked. Well, you have Mokuton, probably because you are the reincarnation of the founder of Senju and biomass. Because of it, you don't need human needs. And 3, I don't know, said Danzo. But then Era sat on the guy's shoulder. I know I, Death, took control of Era. It's the infinity gene, which means Naruto has infinite chakra. There's no need to improve the control, I made it perfect, Death said, and Era became an ordinary crow. End flashback. Naruto's mark moved to his palm. When Naruto used Death Senjutsu, lines emerged from his mark. They beautifully encircled his arm and half his face. He studied genomes perfectly. Ashura and the Anbu from the root helped him with Mokuton. He dealt with the biomass himself. You just have to imagine. Naruto learned to use the gift of seeing when a creature will die and killing with one touch. Whether dead or immortal, the body is simply destroyed. Naruto also developed ninja skills such as Tai, Ken, Buken, and Fuin, honing them to the level of God of Shinobi. He also had Dojutsu. The boy had 3 abilities, Amaterasu, his control, and Kamui. He was a white samurai, and the samurai possessed the Totsuka Met's artifact. But when Susanoo is humanoid, it has 2 heads and 4 arms, and when complete, it has 1 head and 2 arms. Naruto also learned to use a scythe. He decided to wear the Cloak of Death when he became a shinobi. Danzo oversaw his training. Death left Naruto after Naruto reached his level, and Naruto became depressed. But Ashura and Indra brought it out. Incidentally, Naruto can now kill people and resurrect them. And the Touch of Death ability can be turned off. The guy grew taller and stronger, and his boyfriend in pants even got bigger. Naruto also learned all of Konoha's non-elemental techniques. The Rasengan, the Flicker Step, the Hiraishin, Shadow Clone, Hinge, Weapon Substitution, and so on. He also learned all of the Rinnegan techniques and 2 personal abilities. Substitution and time stopped for 2 minutes. Flashback. A day had passed since Death had left Naruto's subconscious. He was sad and sat in the forest. But then someone hugged him. Turning around, he saw Indra and Ashura. Don't be sad. Let's go to the temple. It's warmer there, Ashura said. Okay, let's go, Naruto said. Upon entering, Naruto was pushed onto the bed. The girls took off their kimonos. the guy was presented with a view of two beautiful bodies. The guy immediately created a clone from the biomass. Both guys also took off their clothes, and the girls saw a monster ready for a cupcake. They sat in front of Naruto and began licking him. The guys moaned with pleasure. But Ashura wanted to see how Naruto, or rather his clone, would react to this, and she began to jerk off his chest with his banana. The guys couldn't hold back and came directly on the girls, or in their mouths. The girls began kissing, sharing semen, but they also wanted to be satisfied. They sat on the guys' faces. The guys also began licking their vaginas, first side by side, but later inside. The girls moaned and liked it. After a couple of minutes, they came right on their faces. The guys licked it all up and lifted the girls up and pulled them into a kiss. They let them taste themselves. The girls smiled, indicating they were enjoying themselves. But the guys wanted to have fun too and began to slowly enter them. The girls grabbed the guys. They scratched them and grabbed their hair. The guys understood that this was their first time and needed to be gentle. The guys had already reached the hymen and looked at the girls. They simply nodded, but fear was visible in their eyes. The guys broke the hymen with a sharp push. The girls screamed. Blood began to flow from the banana. But a minute later, the girls smiled, and the guys understood the signal and began to pound them. That's how they finished them off for 5 hours. The guys came inside the girls, and they came too. But the girls were tired and couldn't take it anymore, and simply lay down. Naruto dispelled the clone and lay down between the girls, and they hugged him. "We love you, Naru," said Indra. "I love you too," Naruto said. "Stop! You're in our midst," Ashura shouted. "Yes, but I put a seal on myself, so if I come inside someone, they won't get pregnant. So don't worry, darling, but I can remove the seal," Naruto said. "When you turn 24 like us, we will crawl out of you and you will stay alive," the girls said. "Okay, I love you," Naruto said. "We love you too," the girls exclaimed and hugged the boy tenderly and lovingly. End flashback. Now Naruto, still wearing the same white suit and carrying his tomo, is walking to the academy. He didn't want to, but they forced him under the pretext of needing to find friends. Naruto walked with Danzo. They truly became like grandfather and grandson. They constantly played shogi, which Naruto won, but Danzo's experience made it difficult for him to beat him. They approached the academy. There were clan members and clan members standing there. Naruto looked at the clan members. He noticed that the Uchihas were represented by 2 boys and 1 girl, about 7 years old. Itachi Uchiha, Shisui Uchiha, and Izumi Uchiha were there. Shisui and Itachi were dressed in the usual black Uchiha clothes, but Izumi was purple. Itachi Uchiha was also the son of the clan head. Naruto had seen these people and also knew that they were kind. Shisui and Itachi also had black hair, and Izumi had brown. But Naruto looked at the Nara and saw the pineapple-headed man there, Shikamaru Nara, the headman's son. He's very lazy. Naruto had met him in the clearing where he was sleeping. But Naruto was intrigued by his future strategist. Then Naruto looked at the Hokage family. Minma Namikaze was the Hokage's son and an arrogant bastard. Naruto saw how he, Kiba, and Hinata mocked the weak, and every time Naruto drove them away and helped the weak. Everyone heard this and respected the boy. Later, Minato learned of this and punished Minma for such actions. Minma didn't change, but he shone less, being as dumb as a brick and always hiding behind his father's title. He gave Naruto the creeps, and Danzo noticed this and smiled. All the girls looked at Naruto with love, and Minma only because he was the Hokage's son, and Naruto himself was as handsome as an angel. Naruto got bored and invited Danzo to play shogi. The Nara noticed this and became interested. Danzo agreed, saying he'd have to stand there for an hour and listen to the first Hokage's nonsense. The Nara watched the game instead of listening to the Hokage. When Minato spoke, he noticed Naruto playing with Danzo. He too became interested, talking and watching the game. It was clear Danzo was playing 100% seriously, just like Naruto. But then Danzo made a wrong move, and Naruto smiled. He made his move and beat Danzo. Danzo smiled too and ruffled Naruto's hair. But the adults were afraid of Naruto, because he was a dead ringer for Madara Uchiha. So now let the children touch the ball. If it's green then it's C, if it's blue then it's A, and if it's red then it's S class, said Minato. The clan members were promoted to S class, but so were Minma and Sakura. But now those Uchihas were there, and they had red too. And lastly, Naruto Shimura, Minato shouted. Danzo tapped Naruto on the shoulder, and he was already walking toward the orb. It was 10 meters away. Everyone was shocked by the guy's suit, but someone tripped him. Naruto stomped on that foot with such force that the person couldn't stand for another week. He looked at everyone with indifference and coldness. The orb was already black with white discs. These discs showed the color of his chakra. His chakra was icy and calm, and the orb itself began to crack. Naruto simply snapped his finger, and the orb exploded from the chakra. Everyone was shocked. S-Class Minato said in shock. All the children went to their classrooms. The boy decided to go last. When he entered, all the girls looked at him with love, and some with respect. Naruto went to the second-to-last desk. Itachi, Izumi, and Shisui were already sitting there. When Naruto approached them, "Can I sit down?" Naruto asked calmly. Yes, of course," Izumi said and smiled. Naruto's smile brought a faint blush to his cheeks. He sat up and wiped it away. "Hello, children. I am Yumino Irika, your teacher for 5 years. Now introduce yourself as I do, and you can go home," said the teacher. "You know my name. I love ramen. I don't like bad students. My dream is to become the director of the academy, and my goal is to make strong shinobi out of you," the teacher said. "And so the first Itachi Uchiha," said the teacher. The guy came out and looked at everyone. "I am Itachi Uchiha. I love family and dango. I dream of finding the meaning of life, and my goal is to become a worthy head of the clan." Itachi introduced himself. "Okay, Izumi Uchiha," said the teacher. "I'm Izumi Uchiha. I love a guy in dango. I don't love anyone. I don't have any dreams or goals either," Izumi said. "So Shisui Uchiha," said the teacher. "I am Shisui Uchiha. I love my family. He was adopted by Fugaku and Mikoto. My dream is world peace," said the cheerful Uchiha. Naruto's thoughts. "And he's definitely an Uchiha. Damn, they're all brick-faced. Except for my Indra. She's a beauty and also cheerful. But that's only in the family." Naruto's end of thoughts. "And so Minma Namikaze?" the teacher shouted. "I'm Minma Namikaze. I love my family and Hinata. I don't like Naruto. My dream and goal is to become Hokage," Minma said arrogantly. And so it all went on for a long time. "And so the last one, Naruto Shimura," said the teacher, who expected everything from the elder's grandson, even if he was adopted. Our hero walked out with his hands in his pockets. He walked calmly and looked at everyone with a cold gaze. Any girl who looked into his eyes would get goosebumps. "I am Naruto Shimura. I love my family. I don't like arrogant idiots who only talk and can do nothing. My dream and goal is to be recognized by Uchiha Madara himself and all 9 Bija," Naruto said without a shred of interest. "It's a good goal and dream. I wish you good luck," said the teacher, surprised by such an answer. "You're the one who's arrogant, and all you can do is talk," Minma shouted. A chill blew 10 meters away, and the Chunin felt death itself and began to tremble. He controls it. A primal fear gripped everyone. Naruto began to slowly approach Minma, who was shaking with fear. "Why are you silent? Say it to my face," Naruto ordered. "I told you to talk," Naruto said, and kicked Minma in the leg. "Izvini," Minma mumbled. The aura disappeared and Naruto sat back. "Okay, you can go home," Arika said, and went to the teacher's room himself. Naruto simply teleported to Danzo using Hiraishin. "That's it, Grandpa, we can go home," Naruto said and smiled. "Well, let's go. I hope I didn't kill anyone," Danzo asked fearfully. "No, I just released an aura when Minma started insulting me," Naruto said as if it was a normal thing. The parents were afraid for their children, especially Kushina. But the students left the academy. Minma was shaking like any child. Naruto came home, played shogi with his grandfather, and then went into his subconscious. There, he played cards with the girls and won, which made Ashura and Indra look offended. And Naruto, as a sign of apology, started making cupcakes with them. Meanwhile, the Uchiha, Itachi and Shisui walked and thought about Naruto. But when they got home, they went to the kitchen where they were given soup. When they ate the soup, they were given tea and dango. "Well, tell me," Mikoto asked. "Yes, how is the class? How is the academy itself?" Fugaku asked. "Well, it's boring at the academy," Itachi said sadly. "But you can make a lot of friends there," Shisui encouraged with a smile. "How's class?" Mikoto asked. "Well, everyone there wants to become strong, either Hokage or clan heads." "I like the goal and dream of one guy," Itachi said, and Shisui nodded in agreement. "And who is he? And what did he say?" Fugaku asked seriously, knowing Itachi wasn't so easily interested. "Naruto Shimura," Itachi said. "Can I tell you the whole story?" Shisui asked with a smile. He always made everyone laugh and smile. "Yes, of course," Itachi said and smiled, because he was glad that he had such a brother. "His goal is to be recognized by the 9 Biju and Uchiha Madara himself," Shisui said. The parents were shocked by this. "Isn't he Danzo Shimura's grandson by any chance?" Fugaku asked. "Yes, he really is adopted, but I will say this. He became the idol of the academy, like Shisui and I, but Minma is a complete non-entity, arrogant," Itachi said sullenly. Okay, you need to rest, so eat and go to bed," Fugaku said and headed to the office to work. The children decided not to argue and went to bed. At Namake's, "What did you do again?" Minato asked irritably. "Oh no, I introduced myself as always, that I want to become Hokage and that I love Hinata. And Naruto called me an arrogant turkey," Minma said. "If that's the case, then tomorrow we'll ask Naruto personally. If I lied, then you'll be banned from going for 3 weeks," Minato said sternly. Minma was scared. In the morning, Danzo and Naruto were eating and talking. Naruto had picked up a book on military tactics. But then they heard a knock. "You sit down, Grandpa. I'll open the door," Naruto said and went to the door. He opened it and saw the Anbu Hokage. "What do you want?" asked Naruto. "You and Danzo-sama are asked to come to the Hokage now," the Anbu said and disappeared. Naruto closed the door and went to the kitchen. "Who was there?" Danzo asked. "Yes, the Anbu Hokage asked us both to come now," Naruto said irritably. "Okay, let's finish eating and go," said Danzo and started eating faster. In 5 minutes, they finished eating and teleported to the Hokage. "Why did you call Minato?" Danzo asked. "Yes, we had an incident yesterday. Minma told me that Naruto just called him an arrogant turkey, but I want to hear from Naruto's point of view, because I know that there is no point in lying to him," said Minato. "Okay, he introduced himself and said that he hates me. I didn't react, and I introduced myself and said that I don't like arrogant turkeys. He started to shift the blame, saying that I was arrogant myself. I couldn't stand it and taught him a lesson," said Naruto. "Okay, I trust Naruto. He has never lied to me," Minato said and looked menacingly at the pale Minma. "Can we go now?" Danzo asked irritably. "Yes, sorry to bother you," Minato said. "Okay, Naruto, go to the Sharaga," said Danzo and started walking to the root base. "Hi," Naruto said and disappeared in lightning like Indra. He appeared at the office. He knocked. "Come in," Iruka said. "Sorry I'm late," the Hokage called. Naruto said. Okay, come in, Iruka said. Naruto sat down where he had yesterday. The three Uchihas were sitting nearby. Shisui was next to Naruto. Itachi was between Shisui and Izumi. Iruka was telling the history of shinobi. Naruto was reading a book on tactics. Shisui was listening, as were Itachi and Izumi. That's how the lesson went. But during recess, Shisui became attached to Naruto. Naruto, let's be friends, Shisui exclaimed. Why do you need this? Naruto asked. We humans can't live without communication and friends, and I want a lot of friends, Shisui said and smiled. You're a strange Uchiha, you're just putting on a grin. Okay, I agree, Naruto said and continued reading. That's how lessons went, but Iruka got annoyed that Naruto was reading a book and not listening to him. He threw chalk at Naruto, but he simply caught it with 2 fingers. Naruto, if you're not listening to me, does that mean you know the topic? Iruka asked. Yes, Naruto said calmly while reading the book. Tell me, who had the Mokuton genome? Iruka asked. Hashirama Senju, Naruto replied while reading. Who won, Madara Uchiha or Hashirama Senju at the Valley of the End? Iruka asked. Senju said Naruto and read the book again. Well done, 5 Iruka said and continued to tell the story. The Uchihas were shocked. Why would Naruto want recognition from someone who had lost? When classes ended, Naruto was about to disappear when he was called. Hey Naruto, why do you want Madara Uchiha's confession if he lost to Hashirama Senju? Shisui asked. Oh, do you have time? Naruto asked. Yes, said Shisui. Naruto grabbed him by the shoulder, and they disappeared in a flash. Hiration is a flash, and in lightning it's Indra Shunshin. They appeared on the training ground. Madara just needed to rest. He initiated his own death, said Naruto, and transported Shisui to the Uchiha quarter and appeared at his home. Time skipped 5 years. During this time, Naruto's brain has improved. Now he can easily defeat Danzo. He was now at the academy. He was sitting in class, and the Uchihas were sitting next to him, as usual. Iruka walked into the room. And so now I will name the teams and senseis. Wait for the senseis later, said Iruka. Team 7, Naruto Shimura, Itachi Uchiha, and Shisui Uchiha, Sensei Kakashi Hitaki. Team 8, Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburame, Sensei Kurenai Yui. Team 9, Minma Namikaze, Izumi Uchiha, and Han Senju, Sensei Kushina Uzumaki. Team 10, Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi, and Ino Yamanaka, Sensei Asuma Sarutobi. Wait for your senseis, Iruka said. He left. The senseis began gathering their genin, and a couple of hours later, Team 7 sat and waited for Kakashi. Where is this sensei? Shisui was already getting nervous. He'll be here soon, Naruto said. And then Kakashi comes through the door. Salam, Kakashi-senpai, said Naruto. Hey Naruto, let's go to the roof. We'll meet there, Kakashi said and disappeared. Naruto grabbed Itachi and Shisui by the shoulders and disappeared in a flash. So, I'm Kakashi Hitaki. I like and dislike many things. I have no dreams or goals, and my hobby is reading, said Kakashi. I am Shisui Uchiha. I love my family. I don't like traitors. My dream is a world without wars, said Shisui. I am Itachi Uchiha. I love a girl and a family. My dream is a world without warriors, and my goal is to become a worthy head of the clan, said Itachi. I am Naruto Shimura. I love my family. I don't like arrogant people. My dream and goal is to be recognized by Madara and all 9 Bijas, said Naruto. Okay, I see you are good partners. So let's go carry out missions, said Kakashi and turned into smoke. Naruto also moved his team to the residence. There, they began carrying out D-rank missions. A month has passed. During this time, our team had been carrying out missions and training. But now they were standing by the Hokage. So, you were given a C-rank mission, escorting a bridge builder, Minato said as he handed over the scroll. "At the gate in an hour," said Kakashi and disappeared. An hour later, they were standing at the gate, waiting for the customer. 5 minutes later, the drunk customer arrived. "Why are you in this state?" Kakashi asked sternly. "I'm the customer, let's go," said the drunk bridge builder. Naruto couldn't take it anymore and released his aura. A primal fear gripped everyone within 5 meters. The sake bottle cracked, and the bridge builder sobered up. The aura vanished. "Don't ever dare talk to us like that. You ordered our protection, so respect us," Naruto said sternly. "Thank you, Naruto. Let's move," said Kakashi. And so they set out for the land of waves. Nothing happened along the way. They walked, since the client wasn't a shinobi, and he was wary of Naruto because of his aura. But after 5 hours, our team encountered a puddle. Naruto sensed 2 souls. He threw kunai with explosive tags into it. The team, except Kakashi, thought he tripped, but 2 missing nin bodies emerged from the puddle. Naruto reacted calmly. "Well done, let's move on," said Kakashi. And they went on. After 7 hours they came to the river. "Get down!" Kakashi shouted and grabbed the bridge builder, Shursui, and Itachi. Naruto had no intention of lying down, and half his body was severed. This caused the Sharingan with 2 Tomo to light up in Shursui and Itachi's eyes. Naruto simply grabbed another body part and fused to it like a mass. This left them in shock. The sword slammed into a tree, and a man jumped on it. Half his face was bandaged. His hair was a spiky black, and on his forehead was a kiri bandage with a crossed out line. "Zabuza Momochi, the swordsman of the mist, or the demon of the bloody mist," said Kakashi as if he read it. "Sharingan Kakashi himself and the kids, hand over the bridge builder, and you will stay alive," said Zabuza. "Fuck you, Zabuza," Naruto said. "You're being rude, kid," Zabuza said, and appeared behind Naruto. He raised a blow to kill the boy, but Naruto's hand became like a sword. He took the blow and kicked him in the torso. The swordsman flew back 2 meters. "You're not a bad boy. What's wrong with your hand?" Zabuza asked. "I have a biomass genome. I can transform my body into whatever I want," said Naruto. And he ran at Zabuza. Zabuza ran at Naruto. The boy transformed his other hand into a sword. He made a slashing right strike, but Zabuza deflected his sword. A similar sword flew from the other side. Zabuza simply dodged, but the sword grazed the swordsman's torso. "Yeah, that's boring," Naruto said, and a cloak and a scythe appeared on him. "It's time to dance. Zabuza, you won't leave alive. Cut this scythe, and you will die, and if I touch you, you will die too," said Naruto. He ran at Zabuza. He swung his scythe at Zabuza from the left, but Zabuza blocked the blow with his sword. Naruto was about to touch the swordsman when he dodged the blow. The boy simply sealed the scythe and threw 4 kunai at the square. The boy performed hand seals, and a barrier of 4 crimson flames appeared. Kakashi and the Genin were shocked by the barrier that only shinobi above the Kage rank could create. Naruto began performing hand seals again, and then a dragon emerged from the ground. This dragon flew at Zabuza, but Zabuza dodged and ran at Naruto. He began a taijutsu fight. Strike, block, crouch. Naruto tried to strike Zabuza, but he fought seriously. Naruto got fed up with this, and during the attack, when Zabuza stepped back from the blow, Naruto transformed his hand into a long katana. This katana pierced Zabuza's heart. Zabuza fell to his knees. "KHH, thank you for the fight, KHH. Take my sword as a reward and bury me, please, KHH. Please fulfill my request." Master said the last words Zabuza and closed his eyes. All his words were heard by the other Genin. "I am Naruto Shimura. It was a pleasure to fight you. I respect you as a shinobi," said Naruto, and knelt down in front of Zabuza's corpse and bowed in gratitude. Naruto sealed his sword, picked up Zabuza's body, and headed to the beautiful shore. The barrier disappeared, and his team ran toward him. "Well, our lord, it's time for us to take Tsunade home and then we'll bury him," said Kakashi. But then a crow landed on Naruto's shoulder. "Car car," the crow croaked. "Okay," Naruto said, and made hand seals, and a wooden doll appeared. A minute later, ice Senbons flew into the dome. "How can you speak to crows?" "I'm the only one who can summon crows," Itachi asked. "I don't have a summoning, but I can talk to all animals and they obey me? That's my secret," Naruto said. "Okay, what are we going to do?" Shursui asked. "That's it, bear!" Naruto shouted. He ran out of the forest toward his attacker. The attacker didn't expect this and died at the bear's paws. "He also needs to be buried. He was dear to Zabuza," Naruto said. "Okay," said Kakashi, and they went into the house. There they ate and went to the funeral. Only Team 7 went. Kakashi created pits. Shursui and Itachi placed the corpses in the pits. Later, Kakashi buried the corpses. Naruto made statues depicting Zabuza with Kubikirabocho, and the second one depicted a man in a mask with ice needles. "Sleep well," said Naruto, and bowed as he went home. "Naruto, where did you become so strong?" Itachi asked. "Long story," said Naruto. And they guarded Tazuna for 5 days. And on the last day, Mangetsu Hozuki arrived with the sword Hiramakarei. Where's Zabuza?" Mangetsu asked. "I killed him. One-on-one, he was buried at his request, and he gave me the sword as a reward for the fight," said Naruto. "Okay, well, let's see what you're worth," Mangetsu said. Naruto ran at Mangetsu. His left hand transformed into a sword. They began a dance. Mangetsu didn't dominate due to Naruto's fighting style, but his experience gave him the advantage. Naruto swung his sword with his right hand, but Mangetsu dodged the blow. Naruto did a sharp somersault and kicked him in the head. Mangetsu blocked and kicked Naruto to the side. Naruto managed to block and was thrown back 2 meters. Naruto turned his hand into a hammer and ran at Mangetsu. He slashed with his sword, but Mangetsu dodged. Then Naruto spun around and hit Mangetsu with the hammer. Mangetsu was thrown back 5 meters. You're an interesting kid. It's only because of your experience that I can hold my own against you. What did Zabuza call you?" Mangetsu asked. The ruler the guy answered. "Okay, I acknowledge you as the Lord," Mangetsu said. Then a crow lands on Naruto's shoulder, and a scythe appears in Naruto's hands. "And now if I cut you even once, you will die," said Naruto, and ran to Mangetsu. He made a slashing attack, but Mangetsu dodged it. Naruto had also made sharp strikes, but now Naruto made a scythe attack, which Mangetsu dodged. Forming a katana from his hand, he aimed to pierce Mangetsu, but Mangetsu moved his torso out of the way. He was a few millimeters from the body. But then the hand returned to its normal form and touched Mangetsu. He coughed up blood. "KH, how?" "KH, I wasn't hit by the scythe," Mangetsu asked. "Even if I touch you, you will die too, but I can turn it off," Naruto said. "KH, I confirm your nickname of the Lord KH. My sword is yours," said the last words Mangetsu. Naruto bowed before the corpse. But then Gado's gang appeared at the end of the bridge. "Ha, 2 swordsmen of the mist couldn't kill the kids. Kill them," Gado said. Naruto got angry, and his hands turned into swords. "Don't interfere, or you'll die too," Naruto said. Looking at the team, they nodded. Naruto ran toward the crowd. He stabbed them through the heart as he ran up, but they immediately tried to cut off their heads from the other side. Another sword deflected the katana. Naruto pulled the sword from the corpse, turned sharply, and cut off the bandit's head. But the swords turned into hands. A scythe appeared in his hand. He ran toward the crowd. He struck, and the corpse fell to the concrete. Naruto performed hand seals, and bullets erupted from the mass from his mouth. These bullets pierced the heads of 3. His free hand transformed into a hammer. He swung, and the corpses fell again. But then he simply struck with a hammer, scattering everyone. The scythe disappeared, and his hand returned to its normal form. But Kubikirabocho and Hiramakirai appeared in Naruto's hands. He slowly began to approach. Gato trembled, seeing Naruto covered in blood. "I'll kill you, you wretch," Naruto said, and made 2 swings. Seconds later, Gato began to fall onto the concrete, but Naruto kicked him into the water. A few seconds later, his body hit the water. "We can continue construction," Naruto said. And they continued construction. 2 days later, they finished the building and said goodbye to the residents. "Thank you very much. If it weren't for you," said the resident. "You're welcome," said Shursui. And they went to Konoha. "So what should we call the bridge?" a resident asked. "Bridge of Death," Tazuna said. "Good name," said the resident. Our team reached the village in 7 hours. They climbed through the trees. When they arrived, they went to the Hokage's office. When they entered, Hiruzen and Danzo were also there. "Hokage-sama, the mission was S rank, but we completed it," Kakashi reported. "What? No one was hurt?" Minato asked. "No," said Kakashi. "Give me more details," Hiruzen said. "Hi. 2 Chunin rank demon brothers were waiting for us on the way. Naruto spotted them and threw an explosive tag at them, which killed them," Kakashi said. "So how are you feeling, Naruto?" Danzo asked. "Okay, it's either you or me. I'm a shinobi," said Naruto. "Is it clear what happened later?" Minato asked. "Then Zabuza Momochi attacked us, but Naruto killed him, and got the nickname Lord and the sword Kubikirabochi," Kakashi said. The adults except Danzo looked at Naruto in shock. "We buried him according to his wishes, and he bequeathed the sword to me," Naruto said. "Okay, go ahead," Minato said. Later, Mangetsu Hozuki attacked, but also fell at the hands of Naruto, and Mangetsu confirmed his nickname, Ruler, said Kakashi. "And where will you put the swords?" Danzo asked. "Well, I'll give mine to my children. I don't need them. I collected these swords just for them," said Naruto. "I see. Minato Namikaze, and you, Naruto, are being promoted to the rank of Elite Jonin. Do you agree, Danzo-sama and Hiruzen-sama?" Minato asked. "I agree, of course, but they have the Chunin exam soon," said Danzo. "Yes, I agree too, and I have the same thoughts," said Hiruzen. "Yes, but on the mission with Team 5, where Izumi Uchiha was, 1 Jinin died, leaving only Izumi Uchiha alive. Menma can no longer be a Chunin. His SCS was destroyed, and Kushina was wounded but managed to carry them. Han was killed by a masked man," Minato said. "Okay, then Naruto will carry out missions separately, and we'll add Izumi Uchiha to Team 7, Danzo said. "Okay, here's your reward, and I asked Naruto to stay," Minato asked. Team 7 left with the money. Naruto stood opposite the Hokage, but Kakashi left a scroll with more details about the mission. "Naruto, I understand you're already as strong as an elite A and BU. 2 swordsmen is a lot. What do you need to become a Kage?" Minato asked. "Combat experience. I need fights in Kenjutsu and Taijutsu with the Umbu. But this can be done with the Umbu of the root," said Naruto. "Okay, I'd like you to be the examiner for the 3rd stage," Minato said immediately. "Okay," Naruto said. Minato began writing down the documents. Taking the paper and the Jonin's vest, he approached Naruto. "Wear it with pride, Elite Jonin Naruto Shimura," Minato said with a smile and extending his hand for a handshake. "I serve Konoha," Naruto said and shook hands. "Okay, go ahead, Naruto. You better go to the 3rd training ground. There will be 2 Jonin there. I'll send them to spar with you. They're Might Guy in Taijutsu and Gecko Hate in Kenjutsu. They're the best in the village in those skills," Minato said. "Thank you, but I'll have to tell you about my genome. Only Grandpa Danzo and Team 7 know about it," Naruto said. His hand turned into a spear, which was at Minato's neck, and then a crow flew in through the window and began cawing. Naruto turned his hand back into a normal hand, shocking Minato and Hiruzen. "What is this gene?" Minato asked. This is the genome biomass, Naruto said. Is it clear what you can do with this genome? Minato asked. Thanks to him, I cannot eat, drink, or sleep, and also transform into any creature and turn my body into a weapon and something else, said Naruto, and turned into a bird. So, it can't be transplanted through the cells? Minato asked. No, the person will die if they receive my cells. They're impossible to control. Grandfather Danzo transplanted them into a criminal with my permission, and he turned into biomass. Even if it were possible, I wouldn't give them the cells. Naruto growled and began releasing an aura that covered only the Hokage's office. Danzo held his own more or less, having felt it during the war, and even when Naruto was angry. But Minato and Hiruzen were trembling. Okay, we won't touch you, Minato said. And even when I die, my body and my wives will burn after death. Otherwise, it will turn out like with Hashirama Senju, said Naruto. Go, Naruto-kun, said Danzo. Okay, don't be late, Naruto said and left. He went to the third training ground. 30 minutes later, Hate and Guy arrived. You're Naruto, right? Guy asked. Yes, you are Gecko Hate and my Guy? Naruto asked. Yes, we are, the Jonin replied. Okay, I'll fight in Kenjutsu and my clone in Taijutsu. My clones can't be dispelled by blows, Naruto said, and a clone of the same type emerged from him. Do they also pass on experience? Hate asked. Yeah, let's go, Naruto said and attacked. They fought like that until evening. Naruto had gained a fair amount of experience. Now he could defeat Guy and Hate in 10 minutes. Our new Team 7 was heading to the academy. Arriving, they went to the second floor. There they noticed a crowd and something like room 301, but Shursui looked in that direction with his Sharingan. He saw it was a Genjutsu. He pointed up. They went upstairs,